Welcome everyone to the Inland Sports Show. Before we start the show, make sure you like this video and you've subscribed to the Inland Sports Show YouTube channel. And if you're a local business or organization and you'd like to promote yourself on this show, just send us an email, inlandsportsshow@gmail.com. The show starts right now. Garcia's left-footed. And what is up, everybody? Welcome to the Inland Sports Show at Home Edition. I am your host, Pep Fernandez. Our fearless director, Johnny Nunez, feeling a little bit under the weather, so we're not at Teen Vision TV 16 tonight doing an at-home edition, but we still got a very big show. In fact, we've got a lot of high school football coming your way. We're going to hear from the head football coaches at Great Oak High School, Moreno Valley High School, and Indian Springs High School a little bit later in the show as we begin to ramp up for the upcoming high school football season. But right now, in this first segment, we're going to break down the CIF Southern Section playoffs for baseball and softball. And in Division I, we have a massive Division I semifinal coming up on Thursday. Check out the brackets right now and take a look. With Norco beating Riverside Poly 8-1 in the quarters and Murrieta Mesa winning a slugfest against Huntington Beach 12-11, it will be Murrieta Mesa at Norco in the Division I semifinals. Does it get any bigger than this? Massive game with the winner moving on to the Division I championship. So that'll be on Thursday. And again, of course, the championship game would be the following Friday or Saturday, likely that Saturday night down in Irvine. At Deanna Manning Stadium. But first things first, Thursday, all eyes on Horsetown, USA for Norco and Murrieta Mesa D1 semifinals. Now, our Kent Sporting Goods must-see games this past week was Santiago taking on Cajon in Division III. And man, this game certainly lived up to the billing. Cajon sending their ace, Jada Villegas, to the circle. And she was rolling the first, I'd say 2 times through the order against Santiago, but the Sharks finally figured out a way to get a couple base hits, not just hits, but a couple home runs. Ashley Mejia with the bomb there in the 6th inning. That would tie the game at 1 apiece and force this one to extra innings. So we're going to fast forward all the way to the 9th inning. And that's when Dylan Kunkel goes deep over the left center field scoreboard and gone. And that is a walk-off home run. Santiago wins in the D3 second round to advance to the quarterfinals 2-1 against Cajon in 9 innings. The walk-off shot by Dylan Kunkel. And what's crazy about this is about 20 minutes apart between the softball game and the Santiago baseball game, the Sharks also won on a walk-off home run. Ethan Monroe beating Mater Dei 6-5 with a walk-off home run in the bottom of the 7th inning to end it. So Santiago baseball and softball winning on walk-off home runs today. So, you know, the fields are located pretty close to one another and about 20 minutes apart. So a lot of drama out there at, say it with me, Santiago on Tuesday as both those teams advance. All right. Speaking of baseball, let's take a quick look. I'm also in Division I. Corona has advanced to the quarterfinals, so know that. But also, when you look at the Division II bracket, we have a possible big semifinal game coming up. Aquinas and Santiago have both advanced to the quarterfinals. Aquinas going on the road and winning in extra innings. In fact, I believe it was 12 innings against Capistrano Valley Christian, 3-2 in the second round to advance to the quarter. So Aquinas will be at home on Friday against Ocean View. Santiago will travel to Crespi. If they both win, we could have a huge Division II semifinal between Santiago and Aquinas. That's if they both win on Friday in the quarterfinals. And that's a live look right now at the CIF Southern Section brackets. Now let's go all the way down to Division 7. Still some good baseball. We had some drama out there at Cardinal City, USA. It was San Bernardino taking on their old league rival Banning on a pickoff attempt. San Bernardino steals home, and that would tie the game at 1 apiece. Banning was up 1-0. San Bernardino ties the game there by taking home plate. And then here, a big-time RBI triple for the Cardinals. So this was the bottom of the 5th inning. So San Bernardino takes a 2-1 lead on Banning, but Banning would storm back in this one in the final inning. So we fast forward now to the top of the 6th inning. Banning's got some runners on. The base hit's going to be chopped over the first baseman into right field. That's going to bring home the tying run. So now it's 2-2. And the Banning Broncos were not done yet. The Desert Valley League champions tack on 2 more runs on this play, past the first baseman, through the hole to right. 1 run scores and 2 runs score. Banning beats San Bernardino 4-2 in the second round of the CIF Southern Section Division 7 playoffs. Banning is a league champion. And San Bernardino was a co-champion in the Mountain Valley League this season. So some good baseball there in Division 7. Congratulations to the Banning Broncos moving on. And I had a chance actually to talk to Brandon Mason. He's the new athletic director out there at Banning High School. He's the former Arroyo Valley head coach for boys basketball. So it was good to run into him. And I'll say this, can't give away all their secrets, but Banning is very, very close to naming their new head football coach. So as soon as they make that announcement official, we'll get him right here on the Inland Sports Show, maybe as early as next week. All right, so baseball and softball. We also have the track CIF Southern Section championships coming up this weekend after the prelims in Division 1. The fastest guy in the 100 meters, not a shock, Jaquan Smith from Cajon High School. What's more impressive, though, as Jaquan goes into the 100-meter finals, is he's still battling back from an injury. We saw him at the CBL finals looking good, at the prelims for CIF looking good. He's only getting better and healthier, and that time is going to continue to drop. Here is Jaquan Smith from Cajon High School.
Honestly, I'm doing a lot better, honestly. Just came back from injury, so first meet back, a PR lead about 0.1, so we'll take it. But if I'm moving like that, just that easily, CIF State, we're on the way. I had a hamstring injury or tweak, I'm not sure what it was, honestly. But it ended up transferring down into like a PCL and then came back up. So it might have been honestly a strain from my glutes. I had really tight glutes, so that was part of the issue. So, but honestly, other than that, I feel fine. It's still a little soreness, but it's nothing I can't handle right now. So I have to. I haven't made it to state. I've been here all 4 years and never made it simply because of injuries. But this is probably the earliest I've had an injury and the best I've done late in the season. Honestly, it's going to take a lot of dedication and time I got to put in. There's a lot of work I got to make up because I still got to work on my block starts and drive phase. That's mainly what my problem is right now because I'm all top hand speed. So honestly, it's all about technique because, you know, the whole cycling motion, I have a lot of kickback. So when you stand up, it produces a lot more bounce and it causes you to move forward once you grapple into the ground.
And that was Jaquan Smith as we move to the Big Boost Play of the Week. In fact, Jaquan's had a Big Boost Play of the Week, but this one goes to Riverside Poly swimming freshman phenom Ava Deanda. Not only won 2 CIF Southern Section titles in Division 2 this past week at RCC, but in the 100 freestyle, she set a new Division 2 record. She's only a freshman, so 2 CIF titles, and now she is heading up to Clovis for the CIF state meet. And again, only a freshman, already a CIF champion in a couple events, the 100 meters and the 200 meter freestyle, and setting a Division 2 record in the 100 free. Pretty impressive. And that's our Big Boost Play of the Week, Ava Deanda from Riverside Poly High School. All right, that's going to take us into our first commercial break of the night. When we come back here on the Inland Sports Show at Home Edition, we've got a lot of football. We told you we're going to talk to several head coaches tonight. Coming up, Scott Strosnider from Great Oak. We got Ben Benitez from Moreno Valley, Marcus Williams from Indian Springs. So a lot more high school football coming your way on this edition of the Inland Sports Show. We'll be right back. And this segment of the Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Boost Performance Training in Corona. Athletes of all levels and all sports train at Boost. And also ask about the Bass Private School. And Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist you can trust.
What up, y'all? Boostman here with a quick 2 cent. We live in an era where student-athlete empowerment is at an all-time high, and this is a good thing. But be careful. There's a fine line between empowering yourself and not being gritty. Just because things don't go your way doesn't mean you should automatically explore other options. Communicate with your coaches, find out what you can do better, and be sure you've done everything in your power before making the decision to move on. Empowering yourself as an athlete is great, but using empowerment as an excuse to take the easy route is a recipe for disaster. Boostman.
Hey guys, this is Jason at Ken Sporting Goods. We're almost to 1,000 Instagram followers. Tell your friends, like us, come down, see us. Thank you so much for your loyalty.
The Inland Sports Show is proud to partner with Dr. Marcus Paulson and Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Dr. Paulson and his team work with children, teens, and adults using orthodontic products like traditional braces and Invisalign to make a difference in the appearance, comfort, and function of each patient's teeth. Paulson Orthodontics welcomes new patients, so schedule a visit today. Paulson Orthodontics. We make braces fun.
The In-N-Out Burger Cover-to-Cover Reading Club is available at the San Bernardino Public Library. In-N-Out has sponsored this program for children ages 4 to 12. To participate, children must read 5 books, bring in their reading log, their book receipt, and then they can receive a prize for a free hamburger or cheeseburger from In-N-Out. Each child can do this up to 3 times. This program will run from March 4th through April 15th, and only books checked out from the San Bernardino Public Library and read during this time period can count toward the program. For more information, please contact the library at 909-381-8201. Thank you.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show at Home edition. Shout out to our fearless director, Johnny Nunez, feeling a little bit under the weather at Teen Vision TV 16. So we're hoping only for the best for Johnny. Hopefully he's going to bounce back and feel a lot better real soon. All right, we're talking some more high school football, as most high school football teams across the IE are now in spring football, getting ready for the upcoming season. Can't believe I'm actually saying that, but here we are in the spring. We got the CIF Southern Section, playoffs for baseball and softball and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, football is right around the corner right now. We're going to hear from a couple head coaches. We're going to begin down at Great Oak High School, the founding father of Wolfpack football. He is back, Scott Strosnider, who came back last season, helped Great Oak to a piece of their first league championship in the Big Big West Conference, now going into year 2 of his second stint at Great Oak, and he really likes what he sees from his football team, not only on the football field, but also off the football field, grooming great young men as well. Here's Coach here on the Inland Sports Show. And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show as we start previewing some high school football teams to get ready for the 2023 season. He is the head coach of the Great Oak Wolfpack again, Scott Strosnider. And Coach, first off, thanks for hopping on the show. I really appreciate it. And I know you're the founding father of Wolfpack football, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But here we are, the month of May. I know you got a big showcase coming up, but what are some things that you can do right now in the month of May so you feel like you're going to be ready for that first game of the season?
Well, we just got on the field. First of all, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. And again, I want to thank you for hosting that Scholar Athlete for the Riverside County. That was an awesome event. You do a great job. I was wondering maybe can we hire you out and you could maybe MC for my banquets and things? Because that might help us out a little bit. Done deal. I'm going to hold you to that. That's for sure. But yeah, getting to football, we just started spring yesterday, and you know what? As being an old-time coach is, the first thing you want to say, you're really excited about spring, but you're not in pads and things of that nature. But you're setting your procedures, you're setting everything down, you're getting the young kids excited about football, and you know what? Just getting out on the field, it feels great. You get energized. We just got off the field probably a half hour ago. My voice is going a little bit, and but it's an exciting time. We really enjoy it and have a great group of kids.
Well, Coach, I know on Thursday you have the big college showcase. I know these things are becoming more and more popular, especially here in the Inland Empire. I mean, college coaches can come here and see 5-6 different schools all in one day. So I know Great Oak's on the schedule for Thursday with a lot of those other old Southwestern League schools, the Big West Conference schools. Right. Kind of describe what's that going to look like for a college scout coming out to Great Oak on Thursday? Do you just run your players through drills and what they might want to see? How does that work?
Well, everybody does it a little bit different. Last year was my first one, and I'll tell you, we put together something maybe a little bit different. Some people run a spring football practice. We tried to make it a little bit more user-friendly for those coaches. They can come out and get involved. Ran them through the normal, some of your combine drills, some of your speed drills, going over bags, things of that nature. We try to break it down to where they could look out and see our young kids, the freshman kids, in a different color jersey than our juniors and seniors, separated, and then have a list out for them where we're able to share all the pertinent information for every single kid that's out there going. We invite them to step onto the field. We invite them to ask us questions. Do you want to see something special? Besides just the drills, we end up doing some one-on-ones. We end up doing catching with 7-on-7 as much as we possibly can to make it look like football, to where they can actually see our kids and how well they're coached and how well they're going to play at the next level.
Coach, obviously you want to win games, but as a high school football coach, you got to also think that, a lot of your players, they're trying to get to the next level. And what can you do as a high school football coach to help them take that next step? Is that correct?
Well, I think exactly that's an exact answer, is that we want to probably get them exposed to it. Let the kids be able to talk to those college recruiters and get that information out. We put out a prospectus list. We put out their highlight tape or give the Twitter account, as all coaches do. But it's more that connection back and forth where they know that I'm going to be honest with them. I'm going to tell them exactly the truth. And I'm going to say, hey, look, I got a player for you. Some of the things when you're talking about being an old school guy, some of the things have changed in the current day, but there's still some things that have not. And that is, film does not lie. Okay. And the coaches want to call and ask you pertinent questions. They want to know, is there a red flag? What's the GPS? What type of kid is he? What is he going to look like at the next level? I have had the exact same question for the last 30 years, and that has not changed. And so, but they get to see it being in real time. They get to see the kids and how they respond and how they act, in a situation like that. So it's just more to solidify it for them that, hey, they're making the proper choice, or, hey, that is a kid that I would like to watch in the next 2 years, or I would like to go ahead and offer right now, or we're going to wait to see what that film looks like next year. It's a great way of getting these kids exposed, and it's just a piece to the puzzle.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach, let's talk some football. I mean, going back to last year, the Big West Conference, I mean, your league was ultra competitive down to the final night of the season and who's going to win it. And we're going to have co-champions. How fun is it just going into a season knowing, league might be wide open? Like, why not Great Oak? I mean, you feel like you have a shot to win a league title going into the season.
Yeah, again, it's a very, very competitive league. I have all kinds of respect for everybody in our league, and that you're going to have a game week in and week out. I have to, my hat's off to the kids that were here this last year, my senior group. We had a great group. They had all the opportunity to leave, and they decided that they're going to stick around together. And I told them, you stick around, something special is going to happen. And after we ended up, knowing that we were at least going to share the title, I, texted a couple of kids the next morning. I go, how do you feel waking up today? At least know that you're a champion. And a couple of them responded back saying, Coach, when you told me this back in June, I didn't believe you. He goes, but it's a great time to do that now. And so those kids, or I should say young men, set the tone for the future, and had all kinds of expectations, and they lived up to a lot of them. And I'm extremely proud of that group. But it helps us getting on the field right now. The effort that is expected out there is not something that's questioned. It's automatically there, and they know that competing in this league, that they got to prepare, to the top, with attention to detail every single day that we step out there. So you're right. It is very exciting. We feel that, we have a good brand of football, but it also is still about raising young men, and then trying to get them out there and trying to, for their future. And some of those questions that they have, about grades and things of that nature, we're honest with them, saying, hey, look, this is part of life, and we got to make sure that we're taking care of business in the classroom as well as on the field.
Coach, on Twitter today, he was actually a baseball coach, but he said just being a head coach at the high school level, it's 30% coaching and 70% all the other stuff. Carpool, fundraiser, snack bar guy, like you name it. Everything kind of comes back to the head coach at the end of the day. Is that safe to say? And how would you kind of describe your role as a head coach in 2023?
Well, it has changed. I was a head coach at 26 years old at Moreno Valley, and that was 29 seasons ago. And I'll tell you, it has changed quite a bit. Especially, we're right in the middle of our fundraiser. Now that you mentioned it, so a lot of effort has gone into that. And we use it as a challenge also. But that part of it has with the whole huddle with Twitter, with the whole social media. It has changed quite a bit, and coming back into it to get used to that part of it has taken a little bit of adjustment for sure. But you know what? I got great people. I got an associate head coach in Tim Woods who does a phenomenal job in helping me out with all that. I'm extremely lucky. I got both my boys coaching with me, which is really nice. So a little family affair. So that's exciting too. So I have people that I can lean on and help me through all this. And they do a great job for me.
Coach, you mentioned your fundraiser for the football program. Would you like to plug it real quick and tell people how they can get involved?
Yeah. We run a vertical raise, and you basically get matched. If you have a company out there that wants to sponsor us, they match funds and they do all this stuff. But our kids, if you ever see one of our kids around, just go ahead and help them out. They'll give you a little QR code. You can, again, that's a new one. QR code, scan it, and scan it and just do it. So it's a great thing for us.
And finally, Coach, you were the first football coach at Great Oak, and now you're back. You returned last season, but from the first time that you were leading the Wolfpack to where you are right now, have you talked about sometimes things in football don't change, but has your coaching style changed? Have you changed as a person? With more life experience. I mean, between then and now, I don't know how many years it's been, maybe 20 or so. I don't know about, but what's it been like returning?
Yeah, we have our 20th anniversary coming up here this next season. So I started out, we're going back and doing some of the same things of our traditions of standing tall and being a part. We actually made a poster with the standing tall has the first graduating class, and in that graduating class is our first captain, who now is a district attorney in Montana, and then underneath it is this last football team that we had, which is the first league title team in school history. So it's bringing those traditions back. But there's changes. Like I say, when you're talking about me, I think I'm a little bit softer in a way. I think that I value that the personal relationship much more, and trying to, maybe sometimes they think I'm too winded, but I try to bring in those experiences, and being that there's been so many experiences that I'll pull up a story and just tell them something. And sometimes it's really funny, and sometimes they just look at me cross-eyed like, what is this guy talking about? But being able to share that with them is really cool. And having those personal relationship is something, like you say, coming back to it that I value so much. I stepped away for a while, wasn't intending to come back, had an opportunity to come back. I was taking care of elderly parents, things like that. But to have this ability to come back and do this, and in my mind, finish, what I started, and having that opportunity. Not many people get that opportunity. So I'm very, very fortunate, very blessed.
Well, Coach, listen, I really appreciate the time. It was so great to run into you. And I think one of your sons, right, at the NFF banquet.
Right. You ran into my youngest, who is Darren Strosnider, who coordinates the defense. And then my older son coordinates the offense. So.
Oh, that's awesome! So you got your boys out there. You're back at Great Oak. You're doing the football. So that's awesome, man. I'm so happy for you and your family.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, Coach, listen, I appreciate the time. Best of luck this upcoming season, and hopefully the next time I see you, it'll be in person again, maybe on a sideline.
Hey, I would love. You're always welcome to come out here, and I'd love to be on whenever you would like me to.
All right, Coach. I appreciate it. Thank you for joining us here on the Inland Sports Show.
All right. Take care. Thank you.
And a big thanks to Coach Strosnider for that interview. Really appreciate it. We're going to talk more high school football when we come back on this edition of the Inland Sports Show. We'll check in with Moreno Valley's new head coach, Ben Benitez. That's next here on the Inland Sports Show at Home Edition. Well, look who it is. We are back here at the Boost Performance Center with another gridiron question with the one and only Coach Ray Bass. And Coach Bass, we've heard a lot about schools that, they want the kids who are held back here, maybe for various different reasons, to get some sort of a competitive advantage. Are those schools really necessary?
Absolutely. First, I think it's important to say that not all of these schools are created equal. And I think it's important that we start to change the conversation surrounding these types of schools and manage parents' expectations. So if you're a parent who wants your kid to go to a school like this because you want them to receive an athletic scholarship, well, only 2% of high school athletes receive a scholarship. And no matter how many schools like this that pop up, I don't believe those numbers are gonna change. But if you're the parent of a student who wants to play sports in college, then the conversation needs to be, what can I do as a parent to put my kid in a position to achieve that? There's a lot that goes into earning athletic scholarship that doesn't always have to do with talent. So to go to a middle school that prioritizes academics, that prepares student athletes physically, and instills a strong work ethic, that can be very powerful going into high school. So we need to change the conversation surrounding these schools from, I want my child to become the best athlete so they can earn an athletic scholarship, to using athletics as the engine for greater achievement in life.
It all makes sense, and you heard it right here from the Boost man, Ray Bass. Again, this is the gridiron question. If you've got a question you'd like to ask Coach, make sure you hit Boost Training on Instagram, Twitter, and all the social media platforms. They'd love to hear from you.
The City of San Bernardino has implemented a new low-cost sidewalk vending program in hopes of expanding opportunity for community members to start sidewalk vending safely and lawfully. We want everyone to have access to the economic benefits that sidewalk vending brings, but we want to make sure that our sidewalk vendors know the do's and don'ts when it comes to our city. We must make sure that vendors are keeping our residents safe by following general health and safety standards and by following city rules. Like, did you know to legally sidewalk vend in the city of San Bernardino, you'll need a seller's permit? What about the $1 million general liability insurance that you are required to have? Don't let this scare you. When all is said and done, the cost of the annual permit will either be $64 or $154. We want to help in every way we can when it comes to vendors lawfully running and growing their small businesses. But those who operate without the proper permits can and will be cited. Citations can run anywhere from 100 to a misdemeanor, and repeated violations can result in the confiscation of items needed to sidewalk vend. We do not want this to be you. So, if you have any questions or concerns regarding the new sidewalk vending program, please call us at 909-384-5035, where staff will help you navigate your way to becoming a safe and permitted vendor in our city.
And this segment of the Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kin Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and letterman's jackets. Boost Performance Training in Corona. Athletes of all levels and all sports train at Boost. And also ask about the Bass Private School. And Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist you can trust. And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show at Home Edition. I'm your host, Pep Fernandez. Listen, high school football is right around the corner. Most teams are in spring ball right now doing the 7-on-7 thing as well. We've got a lot of new head coaches in the area. One of them is Ben Benitez at Moreno Valley, the former Viking football player, now back as the head coach of the Vikings. He was an assistant there, also an assistant at Vista Del Lago, but now he takes over for Ted Watkins at Moreno Valley High School, and he takes a lot of pride in going back to lead the Vikings, his alma mater. Here's our exclusive interview with head coach Benitez here on the Inland Sports Show. Inland Sports. And now join us here on the Inland Sports Show. He is the new head football coach for the Moreno Valley Vikings. It's Ben Benitez. And Coach, I don't want to give away all your secrets, but on your whiteboard behind you, that's either the Millennium Falcon or some crazy plays the Vikings are going to have this upcoming season.
No, we just had practice, so I came down and jumped into the coach's office. It's actually basketball plays, so I don't think we're giving anything too much away right now.
People are like, oh, basketball plays for football. Maybe that'll work.
Hey, never know.
But Coach, you're in spring ball now. I mean, is it exciting now that you're running the program? It's your football team. You're going through going through your first spring as the head coach of the Vikings. Is it a pretty exciting time for you professionally as the first year head coach?
Well, yeah, man. I mean, this has kind of been, the dream job for me. I'm a Mobile alumni, so just to be out here. Had a couple brothers play football from Moreno Valley High School, and actually coached here for 9 years with Coach Watkins prior to moving over to OC at VDL. But just to be back, walking the halls at Moreno Valley High School and being back on Rooney Field, it just feels different, feels special, and like I said, it's been a dream job for me. So I'm excited. The energy's been great. These last couple of weeks, and I'm just, really happy to be out here with the guys right now.
Coach, there's a couple places where the head coaches of the football team are former players. They get to go back to where they played and become the head coach. Why do you think that's special? Why do you think that's unique, especially in your case, to be able to go back to a school where you played, the tradition, the legacy, and now you can go back and put your stamp on the program as the head football coach now?
For Moreno Valley High School, at least, I feel that the city has, a lot of love for our school, and we were the first school in Moreno Valley. So there's a lot of, history there with a lot of guys coming through here. A lot of people stay in the city. They don't really move out of town. So a lot of their children or siblings come to Moreno Valley High School. And, just to, like I said earlier, I had a couple brothers play football here. I was a ball boy, way back in middle school for Coach Martin when he was coaching my older brother. And just being able to, kind of almost felt like, just natural that, ball boy, football player, coach, head coach now, teacher here. It felt like that was the thing to do, that was the path that I needed to take. And just it's special to me because I have a lot of love for this city. Our coaching staff, they're from the city as well. A lot of coaches here that, on our staff that played for Moreno Valley High School. So there's just that extra pride, that they're taking here where we're not just coaching football at a random school. We're coaching our school, our home, and trying to make our city proud. So just having that pride and that love in our heart kind of gives us a little bit extra edge on Friday nights.
Yeah, I feel like when a coach gets to go back to his school, there's an extra level of pride they take in it. Like, they want to leave the program better than when they got it. Like, you want to go in there and do some awesome things and keep that program at a high level. Coach, let's rewind back to when you were a player. Did you, in the back of your mind, always think, what, I want to be a head football coach one day? And like you said, maybe this is your dream job, to go back to Mo Val and lead the Vikings.
I don't know if I ever really thought about even being a coach, to be honest, playing football. But my senior year, we got off to a hot start. We were 6-1. We were blowing some teams out. It was kind of the first season Moreno Valley High School really started having a really good season again. And I got hurt, against playing Corona High School. Got dislocated my shoulder twice. And that kind of, no pun intended, but put a chip on my shoulder that I had, I had some unfinished business, right? And so when I was graduating, Coach Watkins kind of asked me just kind of as a joke, like, hey, man, you ever consider coaching football? You'd be great at it. And I was like, yeah, let's give it a shot, So I was going to UC Riverside over here, and, it was close to home, and it was my alma mater. So, of course, I wanted to give it a shot. And like I said, I had that chip on my shoulder because I didn't feel like, I was able to ride out that season. And they ended up going to the semifinals that year, first time in school history. And, I ended up playing in that game, but it just wasn't the same football player at that point. I was just too beat up. And so just, always had that feel in my belly to, that itch, you get that little itch that you have to scratch. And coaching football has done that for me. And, just being able to try to give that back to my community and kind of help these kids out. And it's just transformed from there, to now, coming from the city and being a first-generation college student myself, trying to help kids, further their lives through education and having, maybe football is that vehicle to get them to the next level to be able to better their lives. So just, I never really thought about it in high school, but, if Watkins would have never asked me, we were walking, across the field, and if he would have never asked me, I probably would never even done it. So, it was a good thing he asked me.
All right, so how about this, Coach? If you weren't coaching football, let's say you weren't a teacher as well, what would you be doing right now?
Man, that I can't even imagine that. As soon as I, step back on the football field, or even my first day in the classroom, it was just such a natural fit. Like I can't even imagine what my life would look like without football, without teaching, without being able to be here as a support system for the youth, for, like I said, for our city, and just trying to give back as much as the school gave me, as much as it helped me develop and become a man in this world, that I could come back and just kind of pay it forward to them. So I can't even imagine doing anything else. This was it.
Well, Coach, you've been around Ted Watkins at Moreno Valley, Coach Tui at Vista Del Lago. Who are some of the guys that have influenced the way you would want to run a football program? Whether it was maybe back when you were a player, maybe you had some coaches, at MoVal that influenced you, or maybe some of your stops, as an assistant. But who's kind of shaped the way you are as a football coach right now?
Obviously Coach Watkins, being there with him for 9 years, obviously he kind of just, I would say he gave me a foundation. He gave me the foundational level of like just what it takes to be a football coach. The commitment, the being a student of the game kind of thing. Just he gave me that. Coach Tui, I love Coach Stewart. That's my brother forever. He gave me the opportunity to go over there to kind of turn that program around, and as an offense coordinator, and just he's hard-nosed ball coach. Coaches kids hard, and has them ready for Friday nights. So just I feel like that aspect of just being tough and making sure that we're on top of the kids and making sure we're doing right by them and making sure they play the game the right way. But then also, just my former online coach, Ryan Villapondo, God rest his soul. But, he was a coach that came to us and just, really, really showed us love and showed care for us. They're he was hard on us, don't get me wrong, but he wanted us to succeed, on a different level. So just having that mindset of, I can be hard on the kid, but still just also showing that kid that I care about them because I want to see them, better their lives. So just guys like that, our athletic director actually coached with him for a couple of years here too. And he was our head baseball coach here for a few years, Brad Alcott. Shout out to him because he had a couple CIF final berths as a head baseball coach, and just the tidbits that I talk to him all the time, and just the knowledge that he's given me and how to structure things. And football is a game of for thieves. We're stealing everything. Any good idea we're gonna take. So whether it's baseball or basketball, or we got coaches like Coach Morrow here, who was our girls basketball coach. He was very successful here. Or even a guy like Justin Remington, who was a basketball coach here, athletic director at Canyon Springs. Just anybody who has been around Moreno Valley High School. We've had a lot of good dudes come through here. Coach McDaniel, who's defense coordinator here for us when I play football, and just kind of stealing all the best parts of them. And now it's my turn to write my story and just kind of try to steal all those gems that they gave me and just put that into fruition for our kids.
Coach, I think sometimes, a lot of the time, high school's identity is tied to athletics, and especially football. If the football team is good, if they've got a lot of fan support, it means a lot to the campus. It means a lot to the school. Especially at Moreno Valley. I mean, there's a lot of tradition there, at Moreno Valley High School. What do you think it's going to take to, get Moval, back in the hunt for, a league title, get them into the CIF playoffs, make a deep run in CIF? Because I feel like, high school football in the IE is better when those traditional powers are good, like Moreno Valley.
No doubt. Yeah. I mean, I really think right now our biggest key is just getting the kids to buy in. We got a late start to everything with, unfortunately, Coach Watkins having to step down as late as he did, given his circumstances, a lot of love for him. And, it was unfortunate, but when we got here, the main focus was, I started pulling kids in individually, just introducing myself and talking to them and just talking football and kind of, coaching against them these last couple of years. I see them in a different light. So, looking at them and just talking about, our previous matchups and just kind of getting kind of humanizing myself. Like, hey, I'm not the rivalry coach, rival coach. I'm our new head coach, and just I think we've built a good friendship, so far in these last couple weeks, and turned into kind of a brotherhood. And we're just trying to really bond the group because right now, you come out here, the energy is so good. The kids are excited and they want to play football. And, so having them bought into the program and what we're preaching, it's a new culture, but same Viking. It's same Viking football. We plan to be tough and come out here and, punch people in the mouth. That's just what we've been known for, and that's what we're going to try to do. Okay, so play good on offense and be tough on defense. So I think the kids are really bought into our program, and I think just, making sure our community knows that even though we have a change in leadership, that, the next man up, there's so much go on. So we're going to keep grinding and keep putting our best foot forward every day in the weight room, in the classroom, and on the football field.
Well, Coach, listen, I really appreciate the time. Congratulations on the Moreno Valley gig. Again, your dream job to go back to the Vikings and now as the head coach. That's very, very exciting. Best of luck this upcoming season. Hopefully the next time I see you, maybe it'll be on a sideline. Maybe, I don't know if you guys are going to do some 7-on-7 or something in the spring or this summer, but I'd love to bump into you in person.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it. Thanks again. And, we appreciate you in the Inland Empire, man. You've been doing amazing things for all of our sports. But I remember you even when I played football, you were on our sideline filming us, and so man, I appreciate everything you do for us, and thank you for having me on the show.
You got it, Coach. That's Coach Benitez from Moreno Valley here on the Inland Sports Show. Inland Sports. All right, that was Coach Benitez here on the Inland Sports Show. We're going to take one more commercial break. When we come back, more high school football on this edition. We're going to hear from the new head football coach at Indian Springs High School. We'll tell you where he was assistant coaching last season, and we'll also hear from Nate Metters as he prepares for a tryout with the Buffalo Bills. We'll be back on the Inland Sports Show.
What up, y'all? It's your boy Boostman here with a quick 2 cent. In pursuit of your goals as student athletes, it's perfectly fine to feel frightened, even intimidated over the amount of energy that will be required. The question is, how do you respond to fear? Do you allow it to stand in front of you or push you from behind? Big dreams and goals should always scare you a little, but allowing that fear to stand in your way will prevent you from moving forward. While those who use that fear as energy to push them forward can surmount any obstacle and achieve any goal. Your boy, Boostman.
The Inland Sports Show is proud to partner with Dr. Marcus Paulson and Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Dr. Paulson and his team work with children, teens, and adults using orthodontic products like traditional braces and Invisalign to make a difference in the appearance, comfort, and function of each patient's teeth. Paulson Orthodontics welcomes new patients, so schedule a visit today. Paulson Orthodontics. We make braces fun.
The In-N-Out Burger Cover-to-Cover Reading Club is available at the San Bernardino Public Library. In-N-Out has sponsored this program for children ages 4 to 12. To participate, children must read 5 books, bring in their reading log, their book receipt, and then they can receive a prize for a free hamburger or cheeseburger from In-N-Out. Each child can do this up to 3 times. This program will run from March 4th through April 15th, and only books checked out from the San Bernardino Public Library and read during this time period can count toward the program. For more information, please contact the library at 909-381-8201. Thank you.
And welcome back to the Inland Sports Show at Home edition. A little bit more high school football before we wrap things up here. We mentioned there's a lot of new head football coaches around the area, including Indian Springs. That's because Coyotes head coach Chris Chaddick is on the move to his alma mater, San Gorgonio, so taking his place at Indian Springs is former assistant Marcus Williams. He played at San Gorgonio High School not too long ago. Most recently, he was an assistant football coach at Riverside City College at RCC. I had a chance to ask him what it was like to coach with the legendary Tom Kraft and the RCC Tigers.
You know, you mentioned Coach Kraft at RCC. In fact, the last time I saw him, it was at San Bernardino Valley College. They were playing for the Southern California championship game. And, of course, they won that, went to the state finals. He's a legend. He coached at San Diego State. He's done some great things at RCC. What are some things maybe that you learned from him at the college level? You kind of mentioned a little bit, but maybe go a little more in depth of, you know, what some of the things you learned from him and might be able to implement here at Indian Springs.
He's very detailed to his work, very detailed. He's the quarterback position. He knows the ins and outs. His offense is fast-paced, and Coach Kraft, he demands a lot, which I love, and I learned a lot under him. Very grateful to just be 1 year with him, like you said. We Southern Championship, almost won state, but it's just a blessing just to be under him and see everything he, does as a head coach. And I was grateful for the opportunity, so I'm just bringing it here. And we're going to play fast. And one thing about Coach Kraft, he puts up points. Yeah, and he's an offensive guy.
There's no doubt about it. And you can find the entire interview with Coach Williams on an upcoming Sports Weekly on IEMG. We talked for, I think, about 10 minutes or so just about his coaching philosophy and taking over Indian Springs as a first-year head coach. So look for that on IEMG. You can also find the complete interview with Nate Metters. The former San Gorgonio High School football star has played on 6 different NFL teams. He just wrapped up a season in the XFL. And this weekend, Nate Metters will be with the Buffalo Bills, getting a little bit of workout and hopefully a chance to earn a roster spot with the Buffalo Bills. Here is Nate Metters. And it could still open up new doors to the NFL. And as you were telling me just before we jumped on this interview, I know you've already been in the NFL before and you've been on a bunch of teams. It looks like you have an opportunity maybe to go back to the NFL this upcoming season.
Yeah, I actually got invited, to the mini camp at Buffalo. So, we'll be able to get back up there and, you never know what happens, man. But, the plan is to get up there and stay up there. So, I'm just grateful for the opportunity again, but
best of luck to Nate this weekend with the Buffalo Bills. And you can also find the Nate Metters complete interview on Sports Weekly on IEMG next week. Big shout out to our director, Johnny Nunez at Teen Vision TV 16, feeling a little bit under the weather. Hope he is feeling a lot better. We appreciate you tuning in tonight to this episode. A lot of high school football, but also in the first segment, if you need to rewind it, go back and we break down the CIF Southern Section baseball and softball playoffs. Some intriguing matchups coming up in the quarters and even the semifinals if you're talking Division I softball. My name is Pep Fernandez. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the Inland Sports YouTube channel. We'd really appreciate it, and we'll see you next week on your favorite show, the Inland Sports Show. God bless you, and we will see you next time.
And this segment of the Inland Sports Show is brought to you by Kids Sporting Goods in Norco, #1 in the Inland Empire for team uniforms, sports equipment, and Letterman's jackets. Boost Performance Training in Corona. Athletes of all levels and all sports train at Boost. And also ask about the Bass Private School. And Paulson Orthodontics in Redlands. Personalized treatment you deserve from an orthodontist you can trust.